Good evening. Just for you to recap our last lesson, we're talking about learning Torah on Shabbat, which brings Kedusha and brings blessings. So we're still very much on this topic. So Chachamim tell us, "Ve'asita kol melachtecha." You have 6 days to do all your work. A person has to work during 6 days. It's either learning or working. Why am I saying learning? Because learning is also a work. Learning is Torah is not an easy task. So those people are learning in yeshiva or in kollel. It's hard. It's really not easy at all. However, Chachamim tell us, so you are working or learning. Keep yourself busy for 6 days and do all you have to do during those 6 days, because a person who is idle, a person who doesn't do any work, that person, that idleness can actually bring on mental illness. And for that, the Torah has a remedy. So what's the remedy? Do work, go to work, or go to learn, but keep yourself busy. And Chachamim teach us that spiritually, we have 6 days to perform mitzvot and Shabbat. And Shabbat is actually compared to Gan Eden. So if one wants to have the zechut, the privilege of going, of learning, and that's a privilege that is not given to just anyone. One needs to perform the mitzvot during his lifetime. Why? Because when Shabbat comes, it means, the Chachamim are telling us, our lifetime is like the 6 days of the week. And then when Shabbat comes, it means when the neshama goes up to Shamayim after 120 years, right? It will go to Gan Eden. Hashem says, if you do your work, whatever your work is, but don't forget that you need to learn and perform the mitzvot to serve me, to serve Hashem, I promise you, you'll be successful and you will accomplish all your work. But if you forget about Hashem and all you do is just work, that's a big mistake. There is no beracha in such work. Chachamim tell us, explain that doing all our work also means tzedakah, because that's what you will be taking with you in Olam Haba. Giving tzedakah doesn't have to be only with money. When we call up a friend and we know that she's down and we speak to her, that also means tzedakah. When we give clothing that is in good condition and we give it to someone, that means tzedakah. We take someone for an appointment, or we do shopping for a person, we take a person for shopping, that is also called tzedakah. Gemilut chasadim, doing chesed. So Chachamim explained to us, the tzedakah is so important that a person who does tzedakah is the only thing that person is going to take in Olam Haba. It's like someone who's going through the desert on a journey, and he must prepare for himself provisions, right? He has to make sure that he is not stuck, he's not going to get stuck, and that he is going to have what he needs in the desert. At the end of our last lesson, I mentioned about the Amidah. So I would like to speak again about this and explain. The Amidah is the prayer the part of the prayer that we stand up, we put our feet together, and we speak to Hashem. We are actually having a private audience with Hashem. we talk to Hashem. Chachamim explained to us this is so important. Shabbat is so important. It's like from the beginning of Shabbat until the end of Shabbat, it's like one long Amidah. One long audience with Hashem. Or the Hider Yehud, that we are having a private audience with Hashem, not only in the Amidah, but also just our house becomes just one place, like one room where we are talking to Hashem and having a private audience with Hashem. Now, to stay focused the whole Shabbat, it really is a mindset. Because, but what do? We stay with family, which that's what we're supposed to be doing on Shabbat. Learn parasha, halacha, hashkafa, whatever. There's so much to learn from the Torah. And what we do from beginning to the very end, and we spend it in Kedusha. What did we do? We actually invited Hashem to our home. And we have connected to Hashem. We have entered Kedusha, and that's what the Pasuk says, Bezot yavo Aaron el HaKodesh. This is how Aaron should come into the Kodesh. Chachamim explain, it's not only talking about Aaron, it's also talking about every Jew. Every Jew should go into the Kodesh. What is the Kodesh? Into Kedusha. The other way to explain this is Bezot refers to learning Torah. Obviously, and here there's a difference because here we are going to explain about how men and women learn Torah. What are their obligations? A man has an obligation to learn Torah. Why? Because a man is not naturally close to Hashem. He's not. A man is active and he has a lot of energy. Hashem said, men need learning Torah. That is what's going to take care of that energy. Let them spend that energy into the learning of Torah. It's a mental challenge. Let them learn, because by spending that energy, that's how they prepare their Olam Haba, which is a world of calm, of peace. Women are not born the same as men. They don't have this restlessness. They don't have this energy, extra energy like the men. Women can achieve Olam Haba. Naturally, women are closer to Hashem because of our role as wives and mothers. And we are more receptive. And it's easier for us to get to Olam Haba. Our energy level is different from the men. So whatever energy we have, and we spend it on Shabbat, we spend it on our families, we spend it doing the mitzvot, that's how we connect to Hashem. The spiritual energy we spend getting close to Hashem is what is actually what's going to bring us closer to Hashem when we're in the Olam Haba. It's like being in a theater, and you have in the center you have let's say the musicians and the singer, and then you have bleachers all around, and the bleachers go up. You paid a lot of money to have the front seat, but then if you pay $10, you're all the way back, right? You can barely even see the singer. You can hear, but you cannot really see him that well. So it's the same with Olam Haba. The more we spend energy during our lifetime, whether we are men or women, that's how our placement is going to be. So the Nativ Shalom who's a Chacham who lived many years ago. He says like this: a person who did not spend Shabbat in Kedusha, but kept Shabbat properly, he will sit in Gan Eden, but he will not feel anything. He'll be all the way back. He's not going to feel that he's in Gan Eden. Only through spiritual energy that we have spent during our lifetime, that is what's going to make it for us so that we can enjoy a Gan Eden. In the Berachot we say, Hamelamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. In the Berachot of the morning. What is Hamelamed? Hamelamed means he teaches. Every day he's teaching us Torah. Hashem is teaching us Torah every day. It means that every time I sit down to learn Torah, parasha, halacha, hashkafa, whatever it is, Hashem is being my teacher. He's melamed. He's teaching me. He's being my partner. The learning must be then that it's speaking to me, right? Change me as a person so I build up my relationship with Hashem. The Torah is called Torat Haim. The Torah is alive. It's living. It's alive. It's speaking to me. And as long as I learn Torah, it's bringing me to connect with Hashem. It's bringing heaven and earth together. What does this mean? Hashem has in mind the way I should spend Shabbat. He knows this is how Ruth Afriyat is supposed to spend Shabbat, right? However, it doesn't make me spend the way Shabbat the way he would like me to. He lets me do whatever I want. Okay? So if the way I spent my Shabbat was the same way that Hashem wanted me to, then I connected heaven and earth. That's what I did. I connected heaven and earth. Shabbat is called Me'en Olam Haba, Shabbat Menocha. That Shabbat is 1/60th of Olam Haba. The only condition for our work is Yom HaShevi'i Shabbat LaHashem Elokecha. Hashem says you can work. You can do any type of work, anything you want to do for 6 days. There's one condition. Shabbat LaHashem Elokecha. Shabbat is for Hashem. It is completely kadosh and set apart for Hashem. And all work is forbidden. Zu gezerat hamelech. This is the decree of the king. It's a gezerah. The king of the world decided that we may not do work on Shabbat. And then the next pasuk goes on and tells us that on the 7th day, Yom HaShevi'i, you are not allowed to do work, not you, not your daughter, not your son, not your maidservant, not your servant, not your maidservant, not your animal, farm animal, and not the convert that lives with you. And Chachamim explain, Kol HaShomer Shabbat ke'ilu kiyem et kol HaTorah kula. By keeping Shabbat properly and learning, it is considered as if we have actually kept all 612 mitzvot. We have 613. So Shabbat is one mitzvah, but by keeping it, it is as if we have kept all 612 mitzvot. Shabbat is an ot, a sign between us and Hashem. It is an agreement. It is a berit. The commandment says that we do not do any work. Not you, not your son, right? As we just said. Even though Chachamim here explained to us, maybe those children are small. Chachamim explain, even though they're small, they've got to be trained and taught not to do any work on Shabbat. And this particular law about teaching children and training them that goes also for all the mitzvot, so that the child grows up keeping the mitzvot and becomes part of his life. Now I would like to tell you a story about a cow that kept Shabbat. In the olden days, people used to use farm animals, a cow, a bull, or a horse, to plow the field. There was a Jew, a regular Jew, who owned a cow, and he worked with the cow for 6 days, and before Shabbat, he would take in the cow into the barn, and the cow rested the whole Shabbat. And this went on for many years, until the Jew decided that he was going to sell the cow, and a goy, a non-Jew bought it. No problem. He asked questions about the cow, this and that. Fine, everything was good. So the non-Jew took the cow, and he started to work with the cow in his field. Everything was fine until Shabbat. Shabbat, he goes into the barn, and he sees the cow is lying down, and tries to get it to get up. Impossible. The cow refuses to get up. Doesn't understand. He tries and he tries and he tries this and that. Nothing worked. The cow would not get up. Since he knew where the Jew lived, he ran to the Jew. He said, "What did you do? You sold me a cow. The cow was great the whole week, but now it refuses to get up, doesn't want to work." Oh, the Jew said, "It's not a problem." So the Jew went with him, went into the barn. He bent down, and he spoke in the ear of the cow. And he told the cow, "When I owned you, you could not work on Shabbat. So you rested. Now, the non-Jew owns you, so you have got to work for him. He's allowed, so you are allowed to work on Shabbat." The cow right away got up, ready to work. Non-Jew said, "What is this? What did you tell her? What did you tell the cow? What is going on here?" So the Jew explained to him, "This is what I said." And he repeated the words. The non-Jew said, "What? The cow understand what it means not to work on Shabbat? Can't be. I better go and learn what is Shabbat." And he actually converted, and he became a rabbi. He actually wrote a Mishnah in the Pirkei Avot, and he's called Ben Bagbag. That's him. When you learn the Mishnah of Ben Bagbag, it's him. So now, we're almost done with Shabbat. We have, I think, one more class about it. So in the Zechut of Shabbat, may Hashem bless us with bracha, hatzlacha, nachat, shalom, simcha, parnasa tova, briut, and zivugim. We'll see you tomorrow.